So, good evening. Our topic for tonight is about game theory and competitive strategy.
我们今晚的主题是球类博弈理论和竞争策略。
Okay. So, our introduction. For those who do not know, economics actually started with Adam Smith.
对于那些不懂经济学的人来说，实际上是从亚当·斯密开始的。
Okay. So, in his book, Wealth of Nations, he discussed the invisible hand theory.
在他的《国家财富》一书中，他讨论了看不见的手理论。
Okay. 国家财富, Wealth of Nations. So he discussed this invisible hand. 看不见的手 Okay. 看不见的手 invisible hand theory. Okay. So according to this invisible hand theory, each of us seeks our own personal gain and we are led by an invisible hand to promote the overall good of society. 对不起。
我们一心一意地寻。我们每个人都在寻求自己的个人利益，我们被一只看不见的手所引导，以促进社会的整体利益。
Okay. So this is one of the concepts of our topic for tonight. Economists and mathematicians have long been fascinated by instances when the pursuit of rational self-interest does not lead to mutual well-being.
经济学家和数学家长期以来一直着迷于追求理性、自我利益不会带来共同福祉的情况。
So one of the books that interested this topic, like theory of games, the book titled Theory of Games and Economic Behavior by Von Neumann and Morgan Stern.
由冯·诺依曼和摩根斯特恩撰写的《博弈论与经济行为理论》一书。
Okay. So the theory of games is a new and exciting interdisciplinary field, huh, which evolved to study how independent, rational self-interest can lead to suboptimal group results.
次优组结果
Okay. So you also check. So today, the theory of games is used to set comparative strategy in business, settle civil litigation and arbitration disputes, and devise effective terrorist fighting strategies that require cooperation among sovereign governments.
商业比较策略，解决民事诉讼和仲裁纠纷。
Okay, so the theory of games is used on a variety of topics, not just business and economics.
博弈论用于各种主题，而不仅仅是商业和经济。
So what are the basics of the game theory?
《博弈论基础》
Okay, so a game theory is a general framework. Okay, to help decision making. Help decision making. 帮助
帮助决策，
决策，对不起。Okay, no? To help decision making when payoffs depend on actions taken by others. Sometimes, most of the time, we do not control the decision making in an organization.
大多数时候，我们无法控制组织中的决策。
Okay, so we will focus on the types of games, the role of interdependence, strategic considerations. Okay, so these three first. So what are the types of games and the role and the considerations of each? So let's go with the types of games. The theory of games, or game theory for short, is a method for the study of rational behavior by individuals and firms involved with interactive decision problems.
涉及互动决策问题的个人和公司的理性行为。
Okay. So in a game, several individual decision makers, called the players or agents. In this case, us, the employees, is try to maximize their expected utility by choosing particular courses of action.
具体行动方针。
Okay? So the final payoffs depend on the player's own course of action and the courses of action chosen by other players. So the courses of action is the one that we all rely on.
因此，行动方案是我们所有人都依赖的。
Okay? "最终会标" Okay? Also, game theory is applied during situations in which the decision makers must take into account the reasoning of other decision makers.
博弈论适用于决策者必须考虑其他决策者的推理的情况。
Okay? Mhm. Okay. So, in economics and business, game theory seeks to logically determine the strategies that individuals and firms should take to secure the best outcomes for themselves in a wide array of competitive circumstances.
在经济学和商业博弈论中，62从逻辑上决定了个人和企业应该采取的策略，以便在各种竞争环境中为自己确保最佳结果。
Okay? So all economic and business games share the common feature of interdependence.
所有经济游戏和商业游戏都有相互依存的共同特征。
Okay? So interdependence. Chang'u.
相互依赖。
Okay? 相互依赖. In competitive games, the outcome for each firm depends upon the strategies conducted by all competitors.
在竞争性游戏中，每家公司的结果取决于所有竞争对手的策略。
Okay. So here are the types of games. First, we have the zero-sum game. 零和博弈. Okay, so one player's game is another player's loss. So this is the games that we usually play. These are the types of games that we usually play.
这些是我们通常玩的游戏类型。
Another type of game is the positive sum game. Okay. In this type of game, situations in which holds the potential for mutual gain.
具有互利潜力的情况。
And the number 3 game or type of game is the negative sum game. Okay, so negative sum game is the opposite of positive sum game because for negative sum game, conflict holds the potential for mutual loss. Okay.
冲突是相互损失的可能性。
Okay. Okay.
冲突有相互损失的可能性。
Okay, so that is negative sum game. And the final type of game here for this game theory is the cooperative game. So in the cooperative game, the strategies of the participants are coordinated.
参与者的策略是协调的。
Okay? Ilang page na? We also have the sequential game. This is another type of game theory. Okay? So in the sequential game, each player moves in succession and is aware of all prior moves.
在顺序游戏中，每个玩家连续移动都知道所有先前的移动。
Okay? In this type of game, you must also look ahead and extrapolate back.
在这种类型的游戏中，你还必须向前看并进行推断。
Okay? The general principle for players in a sequential game. Okay? Okay, so I cannot see it. 大道理. Okay? each player in a sequential game makes moves based on the assumption that subsequent players will respond to any earlier move in a rational fashion.
顺序游戏中的每个玩家都基于以下假设进行移动，即后续玩家将以理性的方式对任何先前的移动做出反应。
Okay, so rational fashion in Mandarin is 例行史上。Okay. 哎，对不起。Okay. 史上。Okay. So that is rational passion. By anticipating how subsequent players will respond to earlier moves, players anticipate the resulting sequence of moves made by competing players.
通过预测房屋后续图层将响应早期移动，玩家可以预测竞争玩家制作的书籍序列。
不是 layers, how subsequent players. Okay, there's a slight mistake there. There you go.
通过预测后续玩家对早期移动的反应，玩家可以预测竞争玩家的移动顺序。
Okay, so minimal mistake there. Okay, so this one is correct. In business decision making, firms make their best strategic decision based on the premise that their initial decision will trigger a sequence of rational decision responses from competitors.
竞争对手理性决策响应的顺序。
Okay, so that is the sequential game.
在博弈论中，顺序游戏是一个玩家选择他们的行动，然后其他人选择他们的行动的游戏。其他玩家必须掌握有关第一个玩家选择的信息，以便时间差异不会产生战略影响。
Okay, so that is the meaning of the sequential game. Okay. Oh. So sequential games sequential games that end after a finite sequence of moves can be solved completely, at least in principle.
在有限的移动序列之后，结束的顺序游戏可以完全解决，至少在原则上是这样。
Okay? So in practice, where the solution to sequential games is overly complex, players form strategies for a limited number of future moves and try to evaluate resulting positions on the basis of experience, 经验.
经验
Okay? I'll let you read that one first. Okay? Now, this is another type of game, the simultaneous move game.
一个游戏是同时移动，如果玩家选择他们的行动没有任何信息的其他玩家的行动。
Okay. In a simultaneous move game, players act at the same point in time and must make their initial moves in isolation without any direct knowledge of moves made by the other players.
在同时移动游戏中，玩家在同一时间点行动，并且必须在不直接了解其他玩家的动作的情况下，孤立地进行初始移动。
In contrast to the logical chain of reasoning that leads to a predictable conclusion for sequential games, the solution for this type of games depends upon a rational prediction of the best response by other players to prior moves.
Eh, 不用打车了，你就直接坐我车就行了。那个我叫滴滴白送回家，驾驶员在外面送，一样的，反正我车放在这里没关系。
我们自己叫个车嘛，你不要出来。
哎呀，
刘月华，关一下麦，刘月华。
那叫我滴滴嘛，好的。
没事。
与导致可预测结论或顺序游戏的逻辑推理正相反。同时，移动类型的游戏的解决方案取决于对其他玩家对先前移动的最佳响应的理性预测。
So this is the.
你能休息吗？吴云在这里要天天晚上找你商量事情。哎，我们也。
the definition or thingy of simultaneous move game. Okay, this one. Okay.
我把前面那个包拿来，
那你开去他那还要帮你开回来了。
叫他开回去，那我就不开了呀。我等他来送我回家，我也要回家呀。我这样走，明天早上我们要去学校。
In
不然我再
any strategic
不是
game,
很方便吗？刚刚好
那你一起了？
啊。
一起包人了。
various strategies result in
那
different
也可以，那前面没有
payoffs.
啊。我坐后面好了。小佳，你坐前面，你坐前面。你坐前面。
Any given allocation of payoffs is called an outcome of the game.
在任何战略游戏中，各种策略都会带来不同的回报。任何给定的收益位置都称为游戏的结果。
So here are some of the games. Here are some of the types of simultaneous move games.
以下是一些类型的同步移动游戏。
So first we have the equilibrium outcome. The equilibrium outcome is the payoff allocation that cannot be improved by unilateral action.
好，那你给我来。
均衡结果是单边行动无法改善的收益分配。
这个可以吧？
So only equilibrium outcomes are reasonable and the stable outcomes for the games because they represent the best possible outcome under a given set of conditions and circumstances.
唯一的均衡结果是游戏的合理和稳定的结果，因为它们代表了在给定条件和情况下的最佳结果。
Okay. Outside the equilibrium, at least one player can improve its position by changing strategies. 改变策略. Okay, so that is the only way for you to improve the position. So the game theory strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a specific goal.
"旨在实现特定目标的行动计划。
It is an implicit assumption of game theory, okay, that irrational players are able to anticipate the equilibrium calculations of any other player.
博弈论的一个隐含假设是，非理性玩家能够预测任何其他玩家的均衡计算。
As such, non-equilibrium outcomes are anticipated and thwarted. And by the look ahead and extrapolate back principle. So what is a non-equilibrium outcome? Okay. Now, for the strategic considerations of the simultaneous move game, first is that firms often use threats and promises to alter the expectations and actions of other firms. To succeed, threats and promises must be credible.
公司经常使用威胁和承诺来改变其他公司的期望和行动。要成功，威胁和承诺必须是可信的。
Okay, so these are the strategic considerations. Another is that game theory shows that it can be in a firm's best interest to reduce its own freedom of future action.
议论表明，减少自己未来行动的自由可能符合公司的最佳利益。
Okay. Uh-huh. To successfully implement game theory concepts, decision makers must understand the benefits to be obtained from concealing or revealing useful information.
为了成功的实施理论概念，决策者必须了解隐藏或揭示有用信息所获得的好处。
Okay. So it's similar to card playing. Similar to card playing, each player knows something that others do not. The cards held in one's own playing hand.
与打牌类似，每个玩家都知道其他人不知道的东西，自己手牌中拿着的牌。
So that is the strength. If you are playing the cards, your opponent does not know. The cards that you are having in your hand right now.
“你的对手不知道你现在手里拿着的车。”
Okay. Again, similar to the card game, In business, firms know the strength of their own commitment to offer a market-beating price, superior service, or top-notch quality. While other firms can only guess.
在商业方面，公司知道自己承诺提供优于市场的价格、卓越的服务或一流的质量，而其他公司只能猜测。
Okay. Firms must know when to bluff and when to credibly signal their true intentions.
“公司必须知道何时阻止，并可信地发出真实意图的信号。”
Okay. Firms offer extended warranties and money-back guarantees as credible signals to the consumer that they are producing high-quality products.
公司提供延长保修期、退款保证是向消费者发出的可传播信号，表明他们正在生产高质量的产品。
Okay. Recent advances in game theory have succeeded in describing and prescribing appropriate strategies and situations that involve conflict and cooperation.
博弈论的最新进展成功的描述和规定了涉及冲突和合作的适当战略和情况。博弈论的最新进展成功的描述和规定了涉及冲突和合作的适当战略和情况。
Okay. So this is another type of game theory. This is the prisoner's dilemma. 囚徒困境. Okay.
囚徒困境。
So this is a game theory. Okay. Prisoner's dilemma is a game theory that illustrates the difficulty of making decisions under uncertainty. and shows how interdependence among decision makers can breed conflict.
囚徒困境是一种博弈论，它说明了在不确定性下做出决定的困难，并表明决策者之间的相互依存如何滋生冲突。
Okay. So here is the classic riddle. We will discuss the classic riddle of the prisoner's dilemma. The business application and broad implications.
业务应用和广泛影响。
Okay. Now for the classic riddle, we will discuss about the this one, the prisoner's dilemma. Okay. So here you have the one-shot game. Okay. 一次性游戏. Okay. So in the one-shot game, the underlying interaction between competitors occurs only once.
在一杆游戏中，竞争对手之间的潜在互动只发生一次。
Okay. So in the repeated games, there is ongoing interaction. 继续互动.
持续互动。
Okay. Ongoing interaction between companies.
之间的持续交互。
Okay. So these two are one-shot game and repeated game are each other's opposites.
一杆游戏和重复游戏是一个 ano 的对立面。
Okay. So the prisoner's dilemma. What is a prisoner's dilemma? The prisoner's dilemma is a famous simultaneous one-shot game. Showing that counterpart uncertainty leads to suboptimal income. It is one of the most well-known concepts in modern game theory.
囚徒困境是一个著名的、同时移动一杆的游戏，表明对应的不确定性会导致次优收入。
Okay.
它是现代博弈论中最著名的概念之一。
What's interesting to know is that it is also a paradox in decision analysis wherein two individuals acting in their own self-interests do not produce the optimal outcome.
有趣的是，这也是决策分析中的一个悖论。其中两个为自己的利益行事的人不会产生最佳结果。
Okay. it is set up in such a way that both parties choose to protect themselves at the expense of the other participant. As a result, both participants find themselves in a worse state than if they had cooperated with each other in the decision-making process.
结果，两个参与者都发现自己处于一种失据状态，即如果他们在决策过程中相互合作。
Okay. So the payoff matrix, I will show this one later. No? Payoff matrix are cells in a table. Okay. Cells in a table describing the payoffs earned by both parties following their selection of various strategies.
表中的单元格描述了双方在选择各种策略后获得的收益。
Okay. So this is the example of the prisoner's dilemma. This is an example of the prisoner's dilemma. If you will notice, you have two characters or two people. Person A and person B. There are 4 possible scenarios that can happen.
“这是囚犯困境的一个例子。如果你会注意到你有2个人 A 和 B， 有4种可能的情况可能发生。
If both A and B stay silent, they will only both serve 1 year.
“如果 A 和 B 都保持沉默，他们只会服务1年。”
If one of them betrays the other, one goes free while the other one serves 3 years. Lastly, if both of them betray each other, they will both serve 2 years.
“如果其中1人背叛了另一人，另一人就会逍遥法外，而另一人则服役3年。最后，如果他们俩都背叛了对方，他们都将服役多年。”
These are the 4 possible outcomes in the sample prisoner's dilemma scenario.
这些是在样本囚徒困境场。这些是样本囚徒困境场景中的4种可能结果。
So there are two types of strategy that you can use. First, we have the dominant strategy. 主导战略.
主导战略。
Okay. So the dominant strategy is a decision that gives the best result for either party, regardless of the action taken by the other. Okay. You can also employ a secure strategy. 安全策略. Okay. Sometimes called the Maximin strategy. It guarantees the best possible outcome given the worst possible scenario.
有时被称为 Maximin 策略，它保证在最坏的情况下获得最佳结果。
Okay. So these two are the preferred strategies in terms of the classic riddle.
这两个是经典谜语的首选策略。
So what are the applications and broad applications of the classic riddle?
"经典谜语有哪些应用和广泛应用？
Okay. So the prisoner's dilemma basically provides a framework okay? A framework for understanding how to strike a balance between cooperation and competition. 如何在合作与竞争之间取得平衡。
如何在合作与竞争之间取得平衡？
Okay. And is a useful tool for strategic decision making.
战略决策的有用工具。
As a result, it finds application in diverse areas, ranging from business, okay, finance, economics, and political science to philosophy, psychology, 心理学, biology, and sociology. So actually, it can be used on many fields. You may use the prisoner's dilemma on several fields of studies.
你可以在几个研究领域使用囚徒困境。
The prisoner's dilemma is often used to describe decision problems involving positive and negative externalities.
这个人仍然是密，经常被用来描述涉及积极和消极外部性的决策问题。
And similarly, the prisoner's dilemma describes a wide variety of business decisions made where the resulting payoff depends upon competitor expenses. Exit, entry, exit, high or low price, high or low quality decisions can all be better understood within the context of the prisoner's dilemma. Here, sorry. Another significant feature is that logical reasoning makes clear the best strategies for decision makers.
另一个重要特征是，逻辑推理为决策者提供了最佳策略。
No matter what an individual player believes about the behavior of the counterparty in a prisoner's dilemma game, the rational decision is to confess or defect and thereby ensure that both players bear significant costs.
No matter what an individual
无论个体玩家对囚徒困境游戏中对方的行为有何看法，理性的决定都是承认或叛逃，从而确保双方玩家都承担巨大的成本。
So another is the Nash Equilibrium.
Nash 均衡
Nash 均衡. Okay. Again, it's another decision-making theorem. "决策定理." Okay, so it's a decision-making theorem within game theory that states a player can achieve the desired outcome by not deviating from their initial strategy. So we have here the Nash Equilibrium concept, the Nash Bargaining,
那时讨价还价。
So the concept of Nash equilibrium is that it is a set of decision strategies where no player can improve through a unilateral change in strategy.
It is. 这是一套决策策略，任何参与者都无法通过单方面改变策略来改善。
Okay. The Nash equilibrium is broader than the concept of dominant strategy equilibrium, which can be present in game theory situations in which there is no dominant strategy equilibrium.
纳什均衡比主导策略均衡的概念更广泛，后者可能存在于没有主导策略均衡的博弈论情况下。
So you have here, this is an example of the Nash equilibrium concept. Okay. So Nash equilibrium concept are randomized strategies, haphazard actions to keep rivals from being able to predict strategic moves.
纳什均衡概念是随机策略、随机行动，以防止竞争对手能够预测战略行动。
Okay. Now Nash bargaining. Oh, okay. I forgot to put the Chinese translation. No, sorry. Okay. Nash bargaining is a game, another application of the simultaneous move one-shot game. Okay.
纳什讨价还价是同时移动、一次性游戏的另一种应用。
So in a Nash bargaining, two competitors or players bargain over some item of value. In this type of game, the players only have one chance to reach an agreement.
两个竞争对手或玩家在一些有价值的项目上玩得更开心。在这种类型的游戏中，玩家只有一次机会达成协议。
Okay. I will include the translation. Sorry for the mistake.
我将包括翻译，抱歉错误。
Okay. Also, the Nash equilibrium concept is a set of decision strategies where, okay. Tapos na yata ito. Yeah, the other. Sige. Okay. Ano siya? 等一下. I'll edit. Okay. Okay. Let's return to that one. So Nash Bargaining, I'll just repeat. So it's an application of the simultaneous move. Okay, an application of the simultaneous move one-shot game. Okay. So under this concept or this type of game, two competitors or player bargain over some item of value. The players have only one chance to reach an agreement.
两个竞争对手是玩家在一些有价值的项目上讨价还价，玩家只有一次达成协议的机会。
Okay, so there you go. So for the finitely and infinitely repeated games,
有限和无限重复的游戏。
okay, so we have first the infinitely repeated game. So what is an infinitely repeated game? It is a competitive game that is repeated over and over again without boundary or limit.
这是一个竞争激烈的游戏，一遍又一遍地重复，没有边界或限制。
On the other hand, finitely repeated game occurs a limited number of times or has limited duration in time.
另一方面，有限重复的游戏发生次数有限，或者持续时间有限。
If there is uncertainty about when a game will end, the conduct of a finitely repeated game mirrors an infinitely repeated game.
如果游戏何时结束存在不确定性，则有限重复游戏的行为镜像和无限重复的国王。
Sorry, 不是国王游戏，对不起。So there are strategies for this type of game. So first, let's focus on the trigger strategy. Okay. 触发策略 Okay.
触发策略
Okay. It is a system of behavior that remains the same until another player takes an action that precipitates a different response.
这是一个行为系统，在另一个玩家采取引发不同反应的行动之前，它一直保持不变。
行为系统 Okay. So it is a system of behavior. Okay, so there is the term called end of game problem. So what is this end of game? Okay. So the end of game problem stems from the fact that it becomes difficult. It becomes difficult to properly motivate managers and workers at the ends of their career. End of game problem.
游戏结束问题是在职业生涯结束时正确激励经理和工人的困难。
Okay. So managers or workers at the ends of their career are usually difficult to motivate because they're about to leave the organization.
在职业生涯结束时的经理或工作人员通常很难激励，因为他们即将离开组织。
Okay. So payoffs and game strategy are often shaped by the order in which various players make their moves.
Payoffs endgame strategy.
收益最终游戏策略通常由各种玩家移动的顺序决定。
Okay. And in a multi-stage game, the timing of the player moves becomes important.
行动的时机很重要。
Okay. A first mover advantage is a benefit earned by the player able to make the initial move in a sequential move or multi-stage game.
先发优势是玩家能够在顺序模式或多阶段游戏中进行，初始移动的收益消耗。
Okay, so we're about to finish.
我们即将结束。
Okay, so now our topic is about game theory and auction strategy.
博弈论与仲裁策略。
Okay, so the auction strategy is one of the most interesting uses of game theory, which is analyze bidder strategy in auctions. Okay, 在竞价中分析更好的策略。Okay, so we have here the 5 types. You have the English auction, the winner's curse. Okay, the sealed bid auction, the Vic-Ray auction and the Dutch auction. Okay, so first, let's go with the English auction. It is the most familiar type of auction wherein the highest bidder wins and is widely regarded as a fair and open process.
这是最熟悉的行动类型，其中出价最高的人获胜，并被广泛认为是一个公平和公开的过程。
Okay, sorry. Okay. So, it is an effective approach for obtaining high winning bid prices.
这是获得高赢价的有效方法。
Okay. Because participants can hear and see what their rivals are doing, bidders often act aggressively.
因为参与者可以听到和看到叛乱分子在做什么，投标人经常积极行动。
Okay. Sometimes winners actually overpay on their bids.
有时胜利者实际上是在出价上多付了钱。
Okay. The winner's curse results when an overly aggressive bidder pays more than the economic value of the auctioned off items. Results when overly aggressive bidders pay way more than the economic value of the auctioned off items.
当过于激进的竞标者画出的东西超过了拍卖品的经济价值时，获胜者的诅咒就会产生。
Okay. And another the sealed bid auction, which is common in construction projects, wherein all the bids are secret and the highest bidder wins.
建筑工程中很常见的密封投标拍卖，其中所有投标都是秘密的，最高投标者获胜。
Okay. So the highest bid wins in this one. Some people also call this as the blind auction because you cannot see the amounts submitted by your competitors. Also, your competitors cannot see your bid as well.
“有些人也称这是盲目的选择，因为从理论上讲，您无法看到竞争对手提交的金额，您的竞争对手也无法看到您的出价。”
Okay. Now, the Vic-Ray auction is a variety of the sealed bidding. Okay. In the Vic Ray auction scenario, okay, the highest sealed bid wins. However, the winner pays the price of the second highest bid.
在维克雷拍卖场景中，最高封存的出价获胜，但是获胜者支付第二高出价的价格。
Okay. And the Dutch auction. Sorry. 对不起，荷兰拍卖。
荷兰拍卖。
The auctioneer keeps lowering a very high price until a winning bidder emerges.
"拍卖师不断降低非常高的价格，直到中标者出现。
Okay. The winning bidder is the first participant willing to pay the auctioneer's price. Some consider it as the opposite of the English auction. "
中标者是第一个愿意向拍卖师支付价格的参与者。有些人认为它与英国拍卖相反。
Okay, so it's the opposite because here the auctioneer lowers the price instead of raising it.
"在这里，采用接近降低价格，而不是提高价格。
Okay.
在这
So here is the competitive strategy. Here are the two competitive strategies of the firm. It's either competitive advantage or comparative advantage.
以下是公司的两种竞争策略，要么是竞争优势，要么是比较优势。
So competitive advantage is the firm's unique or rare ability to create, distribute, or service products valued by customers. On the other hand, comparative advantage is the superior efficiency on a relative basis.
因此，竞争优势是公司创造客户重视的分销或服务产品的独特或罕见能力。另一方面，比较优势是相对效率的优越性。
Sorry about that. I will repeat it.
因此，竞争优势是公司创造客户重视的分销或服务产品的独特或罕见能力。另一方面，比较优势是相对效率的优越性。
Okay. And last but not the least are the pricing strategies.
定价策略
Okay. 定价策略. Okay. So firms define pricing strategies designed to reshape the competitive environment to their advantage. So here we have 5 types of pricing strategies for a firm.
我们为一家公司提供5种类型的定价策略。
Okay, so we have limit pricing. So what is limit pricing? Limit pricing is a competitive strategy to set less than monopoly prices in an effort to deter the market entry of new and viable competitors.
限价是一种竞争策略，设定低于垄断的价格，以努力使新的令人羡慕的竞争对手进入市场。
Okay. On the other hand, predatory pricing is a type of pricing below marginal cost to knock out the rivals and subsequently raising prices to obtain monopoly profits.
另一方面，掠夺性定价是一种上升到边际成本以下以淘汰竞争对手，随后提高价格以获得垄断利润的一种。
And number 3 is the customer lock-in events. So the firm benefits from establishing durable customer loyalty. 持久的客户忠诚度。
持久的客户忠诚度。
Customer loyalty, it's difficult to defeat. Then you have number 4, which is the network externalities.
网络外部性。网络外部性。
Okay, so in this type of pricing strategy, there are benefits in consumption of production tied to widespread adoption of a physical or economic standard. I will let you read that. Okay. And last, I think, is the market penetration pricing. It is a strategy of charging very low initial prices to create a new market or to grab market share.
标记渗透定价是一种收取非常低的初始价格，以创建新市场或抢占市场份额的策略。
Okay, so this one is our last page. this is our last page for tonight's presentation.
这是我们今晚演讲的最后一页。非价格竞争。
Okay. So, non-price competition are competitive techniques tied to product quality. 产品质量。Okay. 创新。Okay. 晋升 or promotion, and so on. The optimal level of non-price competition is defined by resulting marginal benefits and marginal costs.
非价格竞争的最佳水平由此产生的边际效益和边际成本来界定。
Any form of non-price competition should be pursued as long as marginal benefits exceed marginal costs. Okay, so just to make it longer, 制药、边际效益效果、边际成本、九因追究任何性使得非价格竞争。
只要边际效益超过边际成本，就应追求任何形式的非价格竞争。
Okay, so sometimes it is better to compete not with price but through this other variables such as product quality, innovation, promotion, and customer satisfaction, to name a few.
有时最好不要与价格竞争，而是通过其他变量进行竞争，例如产品质量创新促进和客户满意度。仅举几例。
Okay, and with that,
课程结束。
okay, so it's a very long topic. I hope you like it. The topic that we discussed today is about strategies that managers and economists may use.
我们今天讨论的话题是关于管理者和经济体可能使用的策略。
Okay, so tomorrow will be our final discussion, and then on March 24, you will be presenting your papers to all of us. Wow.
明天将是我们最后的讨论，然后在3月24日，你将向全班展示你的论文。
Okay.
请打开相机拍摄流水级照片。非常感谢你，对我们所有人都很好。
Okay. What happened? Nangyari? Please turn on your cameras. I cannot see the other students. Wang Tantan, Ling Lin, Team, Eric, Sun Taiwei. It's dark. And
刘月华，
那个四个学生。
哎，我在。
Zero, Tim, Eric. Oh, watch it is on. Okay. Let's just wait for the other. Okay. Eric, 可以吗? Okay. On the count of 5, 1、2、3、4、5。Thank. Okay. Thank you very much and good night. 晚安. Okay. 晚上好. So tomorrow we'll have our final topic. I will send the corrected PowerPoint presentation after this class right away. Thank you.
我会在上课后立即发送更正的 PPT 演示文稿。谢谢。
Okay. Good night.
拜拜。